I think it is.
All right. Say recording on it.
I don't know.
Okay, so
I just show up here.
So today we're going to talk Maslow's hierarchy of needs as it pertains to marriage. So I think a lot of people are familiar with this term, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
I'll put it up on the screen. Magic.
There it is. So as you can see, it is in the shape of a pyramid, or as I like to kind of coin it, in a mountain. And I like to think of it as a mountain because it's one of those situations where as you accomplish the needs on the base bottom, you can climb up and achieve higher levels.
Shall we talk about each of the needs first?
Yeah, definitely. So on the bottom, we have physiological needs, right? That includes food,
sex,
water,
sex,
shelter,
sex.
Okay, so anything that essentially... How old are you? So
old enough to have sex.
Yes, TJ, sex, your favorite thing, is physiological need. And so
Sex
it's pretty
is a
much
physiological need. The release of oxytocin and other good feeling hormones.
Stop trying to sound smart. Anyways, that's my job. You're here for the entertainment value.
Okay.
So physiological needs are all the needs that you need met in your base body physiologically. You cannot move up the pyramid if you have food insecurity, shelter insecurity, if you're dehydrated beyond your means.
But isn't that the safety needs?
No. So those are physiological needs. Then we go up to safety needs. That talks about your environment. How is your environment? Are you around a war zone like Ukraine? Are you worrying about your stability of your housing? Are you worried about your safety? So physiological needs is just base human needs for our bodies. Then we go into the safety needs. That's talking our security and our shelter. Now we're moving. What are you doing?
I'm just pulling up different images.
Oh, okay. So then we move up to belonging and love. So that has to do with friendship. That has to do with relationships. What's the quality of our needs being met in that way? Are we feeling like we belong in a social group? Are we feeling like our needs are met in friendship, love, and belonging? So then once those needs are met in terms of interpersonal relationships, we go to our self-esteem. So now we're focusing inward. We're focusing on what makes us a whole person. We're focusing on hobbies, activities that make us feel good about ourselves.
So as we're talking about this, where I kind of see this forming and going into is basically when we're talking about Maslow's hierarchy of need, we're talking about the whole person concept in a way, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, how do you reach whole person?
Yeah. And I really do want to reiterate that you can't reach whole person or self-actualization, as Maslow would like to coin it. I like your term better, but you can't reach that ideal state if your base needs aren't met. And Maslow even argued like the very top of the mountain, the very top of the pyramid, self-actualization, most people actually aren't even allowed or able to achieve this just because in our life we encounter so many issues on the bottom rungs that we're not able to even achieve self-actualization.
Because it's a continuous journey though.
It is, yeah. I mean, there's a famine and feast in our lives, and that can affect all the other needs. If we're having issues in our interpersonal relationships in the bottom rungs of love and belonging, and it's affecting our self-esteem, then we need to work on those before we can go on to achieve self-actualization. Okay, yeah, good. So then the next rung, we have esteem. So that's after our love and belonging, our relationships are doing really well. Now we feel self-esteem. We feel encouraged by all of our relationships and all of our needs are met. So we are being respected. Our social status is higher. We're starting to feel the effects of having all of our needs accomplished, right? And so it's increasing our self-esteem. From that place, then we can go to the very top of the mountain or the pyramid, which is self-actualization. So self-actualization is when you have achieved the quintessential whole person of yourself. So you have become an entire whole person. You have achieved all of the needs below, and what's wrong?
Sorry, I was thinking about Pokemon. I was thinking about like Charizard, Charmeleon, Sorry.
generation, like
No, evolving.
evolving.
So you're basically-
Exactly.
Like you're like the highest potential. So like
You've reached your
all
highest
right,
potential.
so I'm gonna nerd out and I'm be like, if you're like a Charmander, that's like the starter Pokemon you get, and then once you evolve in level 36, of course, you turn into a Charizard. And I was thinking about this just because it's like, you know, life happens. The way the Pokemon evolves, I'm describing this for dudes in simple terms, but it's like obviously you go through certain challenges to meet certain rungs, gain more experience through life, and you're able to reach self-actualization.
Maslow actually talked about like to take it out of the Pokemon world and bring it into the human world. I mean, people like Mother Teresa, people like Gandhi.
Yes.
I mean, those are really good examples of people who achieved self-actualization in a very clear and palpable way. And from that place, you're able to then
Be your best self.
yep,
I also want to
live your best life. Be your
God, this when people talk on Instagram and crap and like hashtag your best life, this is what is actually your best life.
Yeah.
Like trying to chase like physiological safety or loving belonging from other people and never really learning how to like develop that stuff in within yourself. Yeah, you're definitely going to be stuck at the bottom of the pyramid for a very long time. I also wanted to talk about this. So I want to kind of go through the rungs and talk about it from a dating perspective, but I also want to talk about it in the sense of the pyramid obviously looks great on paper. Looks really good on paper. However, how does it play out in real life? Because I think what a lot of people need to hear or know is that it doesn't always look like this. Like you get safety needs. Like maybe you have like a job, but maybe you don't have anyone close to you. Like maybe you're a very high paid like tech. You're a tech or cyber person, but you have no social skills, so you don't really have love or belonging. So you don't have esteem, and you don't have physiological needs met. Well, I mean, like you may have some met, but maybe you don't have any close people or groups. So it's like, what happens when I guess life doesn't fit the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? And I wanted to like pick your brain on that.
That's a good question. I think like everything in life, not everything is linear.
Yes. 100%.
And I think I always think about this when you look at the diagram, esteem is above love and belonging. I almost feel like they could be reversed as well. So it's like not everything is linear. Sometimes you might get the job and you might get the physiological and your safety needs met, and then you feel on top of the world. You have the status, everything is great, but you don't have the deep love and intimacy piece. So then it's like, it doesn't have to necessarily be so linear to where it looks like this, but I do want to mention that it is the likelihood of you achieving that self-actualization piece
if you have all these other things
is much higher if you have all the other needs met. Same thing with fulfilling your safety needs is much higher if your physiological needs are met. Okay,
so now as we talk about this, because I think this is like a very good conversation, because this is also something I've seen in the dating world and a lot of people which is I believe this is causing unhealthy relationships, right? Like the eat, pray, love kind of thing, where it's like people are looking for self-actualization, but they're trying to find it in their marriages when they should be trying to find it within themselves.
This gives me just so much. You really can look at this Maslow's hierarchy of needs and look at the trends in marriage and relationships from hundreds of years ago to now and see exactly how we've tried to climb the ladder and it's failing. So back, 100, 200 years ago and beyond that, previously to even that, it was all based on physiological and safety needs. We only got into relationships that provide for survival, that provided shelter. Especially for women, you're only going to marry or be with people who can provide those base needs for you. Because as women, you couldn't provide them for yourself. You couldn't go out and get a job and have money. You had to have that status in order to survive. And so that is all marriage was based on. Then we go Industrial Revolution, where it's like, okay, that's kind of the norm. The norm is people are making pretty decent lives. People are making pretty decent money. Like that's okay. So we're no longer marrying for physiological and safety needs, but now we're looking at love and belonging. So now it's the concept of I need to fall in love with someone, which was in the 30s, 40s, 50s.
This is basically how like the Western ideal of romanticism and love started to come about.
Yeah, and I like how you brought up Western, because this is very specific to the Western culture.
As a minority and someone who's traveled across the world, like, you look at relationships. First of all, can I take a small tangent?
Sure.
Okay, I want to take a small tangent to talk about, like, I think everyone loves the idea that we're all very unique creatures. I think we are unique creatures to an extent, but base human needs are universal. You go anywhere around the world, people have universal needs. And I think the first 3 rungs of that pyramid are like universal, and people seek and make decisions on relationships based off of them.
Yeah.
I think when you come into the West, that pyramid sometimes gets flipped upside down. It's just like things are just put in the wrong way, and people are doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons, in the sense of, and this is where I guess I'm going to bring it back into the conversation, is that I feel like people are getting married and expecting their spouse to self-actualize them.
Yeah, and I think like, to talk about this even deeper, I don't think that in the West we're flipping it upside down. I think we're just so comfortable with the first 3.
Oh, 100%.
We don't. It's not even on our
radar. But it's not even a reality, though. It's like your reality is not even really reality.
We're not searching for our physiological needs to be met because we're pretty cush. We're pretty comfy. We're not searching for our safety needs to be met because we don't have.
Society collapses.
We don't have external environmental threats, right? Except for if you're a prepper, then you're always worried about those. You're always worried about the external threats.
If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready.
I think that's a good perspective to have, though, honestly. And then our love and belonging are met in a lot of different ways. We have social media that's giving us that sense of love and belonging with the likes and with interactions from people. And so we are looking as humans to go up to the next level and to have the esteem met from our partners and to have the self-actualization met from our partners. But here's the caveat. Like I said before, Gandhi and Mother Teresa, those are like 2 good examples of people who met self-actualization.
Extreme examples.
Extreme examples, right?
But let's clarify extreme versus generalization, because I think we need to definitely do that for the audience, to say, like, not all of you are going to be Mother Teresa and not all of you are going to be Gandhi. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, a million %. But that's why Maslow said a lot of people, the majority of humans, will not reach that level. Why? Because it takes an extreme amount of work. It takes an extreme amount of sacrifice.
Do you mean effort? Relationships require effort, Taylor?
I do.
Oh my God.
They require effort. Lots of it.
Actually, I'm here for my best life, and I actually don't believe in actually working.
And that's like the problem here is, I think that if we do look at it instead of a pyramid but as a mountain, the higher you ascend, the harder it is. And I think we need to put way less pressure on our significant others to fulfill those top 2.
To self-actualize us.
Yes, or provide even our esteem.
Yes, exactly.
Those are independent of a partner.
We've talked about this before, where I've had people. I've had this in dating experiences where people are like, it's on you to make me feel secure in the relationship, so I need you to text me every day so that I don't feel insecure. It's like, no, you have to develop security within yourself, and, like, to an extent, have healthy communication, describe your needs in a relationship. But, like, there are some things that are outside the realms of reality, and they're just, like, out in the Netherlands, or, like, Mordor, or whatever you want to call it, like Lord of the Rings lands. Like, you're living in a complete fantasy land because Narnia. You're Narnia. It's like you're expecting someone to self-actualize you, be your esteem, be your love and belonging, be your safety needs and physiological needs. And that's completely unfair, because I think now that's what I think a lot of men are realizing this, is like, I'll only speak from my dating experience as a man, is like, women want, like, just this crazy ideal of a man that's just gonna take them on adventures, take them on traveling, be ambitious, be a hard worker, be a loving parent, like, be emotionally intelligent. It's
be emotional, but then on the flip side, emotionally involved, have the time to invest. And
it's not even reciprocal. That's like the crazy thing. It's like, because it's like, I'm this prize and you need to be all these things. And it's like, what do you bring to the, like, what? I'm so confused. It's like, that's not even a healthy relationship. It's like, your self-esteem, your self-actualization, that's all on you. You can grow with someone and grow into a relationship. You don't need your partner to self-actualize you. That's on you. If you want something out of life, go after it. Try to find someone who's compatible with you and realize, yes, like I think if you place your ambitions and goals over your relationships, yes, you'll probably lose your relationships. But if that's what you want to do and you want to be Mother Teresa, go be Mother Teresa. I think that's completely fine. I think what you kind of said that I actually will kind of nod to again is like, as you climb the mountain, not everyone's going to go with you. So understand when you climb the mountain, what you're sacrificing and what you're giving up, because it's like, I do think it's possible to live a very fulfilling life without even getting to self-actualization. Because I think a lot of us put a lot of shame, and I mean, it's not even a lot of us now. We're talking about straight up statistics. Like we talk about the marriage rate, we talk about the divorce rate, like marriage rate's gone down, divorce rate has maintained. We're talking about the birth rate has dropped completely. Like the median age for marriage is like way higher than it's ever been. And it's like, people are looking for this ideal person, and it's like they've been sold this lie by like Disney and all these other corporations. Like there's this Prince Charming or princess out there who's going to do everything and be everything you want, and you should never settle for anything less. And it's like, your person doesn't exist, because what you've done is created an unrealistic expectation for a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want this person to be your everything. And I'm like, you have to develop yourself.
And that's not even like you want this person to be your everything. That has never been in the history of humanity the model for how humans should work and survive and live in a cohabitating environment. It's always been, you have this person fulfilling this role in your life. You have this person fulfilling this role in your life. It's never supposed to be all on one person. And I think because we have this expectation, it's no wonder divorce rates are high. It's no wonder people are not getting married as much because it's unrealistic.
And it's like, there's a book, it's like Marrying Mr. Goodenough by Lori Gottlieb. She's a sociologist, and I think people should. I'll put a little promo, little link. I think it's a really good book from a woman's perspective on how like she self-sabotaged herself constantly by having these unrealistic expectations for relationships. And it's like, if you start to realize you're not having healthy relationships and you're not having like being able to connect and create real intimate relationships, is it that people are the problem? Are you the problem? And that's where you have to look at yourself as, I'm the common denominator, where I'm like this. If I was a man and I was very uncompromising, like very just like selfish, very just like telling you like I'm this prize and you have to win my attention and do all these things, it's like, I would not be seen as a dateable guy. Why would I want to date? I would never want to date someone like that who tells me like I'm a prize and I'm uncompromising. And it's like, you have to be all these things that I want you to be. And don't ask me to be anything. It's like, you're a human being.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to relate to you on a human being level. It's like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do in life? Like, is this compatible? Can we live a life together? Can you still accomplish what you want to accomplish and what I want to accomplish? And at the same time, have a certain goal and a vision for life, where we both have that freedom inside that relationship to achieve self-actualization without doing some weird ass like polygamy, like eat, pray, love. Like, I need to go to Bali and like fucking fuck some server, like do all this other stuff, and or like be in some weird polygamous relationship situationship. It's like it's people are doing all this extra stuff, and it's just like it will never be enough.
Yeah.
It will never be enough.
I do think like we need to move back to a model where we only focus on marriage providing the first three rungs.
100%.
Self-esteem is our responsibility. Self-actualization is our responsibility. It is not our partner's job to make us feel these feelings and do these things. It is specifically within the goal of the marriage or partner structure. And I say partner because I don't necessarily think that this is just marriage either. This is what we put in the pressure on any partner, any kind of relationship.
This is first date. People are expecting this kind of stuff. It's
100%.
Like, I need to know you're adventurous and you love to travel, because it's like,
right, exactly. I think if we focus more on, okay, we both have the same safety needs. Okay, we both want to have the same geographical location to live. We both,
it's the things that are key to the longevity of the relationship. It's not this I'm gonna put like up the video of like the chick who's like, you need to be gluten-free, you can't not like dogs, you need to be.
Heather brought me her list of requirements, so let's check them out. He must be between 30 and 45, financially stable, no kids, 5'10" or taller, no hookups or flings, ready to settle down, no roommates, no smoking, must love dessert, and can't be anti-sugar. What's the deal with the desserts?
Well, okay, that's a really important one because I'm the founder and CEO of my own frosting company. And so it's an all-natural gourmet frosting, and so I make a lot of desserts. Okay. And I do a lot of, trade shows and making desserts. Right. So he has to like dessert. If he doesn't like dessert, it's totally a deal breaker.
Right, totally a deal breaker.
Totally a deal breaker.
Okay, but there's some more requirements, so let's take a look at these. Must be honest, reliable, sweet and kind, quick-witted, romantic, must love food, must pay on the first date, no flowers on the first date, must be a social drinker, and must never wear sweatpants. What?
Those are basics.
Why he can't wear sweatpants?
No, the last guy I dated, we fought all the time because he wanted to go to Starbucks in sweatpants and go to breakfast in sweatpants, and no one should be doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, we got some more requirements, but we don't have no more room. Guys, let me get one of the pillars over here. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. Must be adventurous, must be humble, must be spontaneous, must be a planner, can't be self-centered, can't be cocky, must love dogs, can't own a dog from a breeder, can't be jealous. Okay, he can't be jealous of your dog?
So the last guy I dated, he admitted after a few months that he was jealous of my dog, and he was kind of mean to my dog in the beginning. And he said that I gave my dog more attention than I gave to him.
Did you?
Well, my dog never fought with me.
That's because your dog ain't got to live up to all them damn requirements. Your dog probably go to hell. Woo! Man, damn, glad I'm a dog. We're not done yet. We can get another pillar. In fact, yeah. Let's bring all of them in here. Bring both of them over. I love it. You ready? Must be in shape. Can't have six-pack abs. Can't have six-pack abs. Can't be too skinny. Can't have a runner's physique. Can't be stronger than me. Can't be obsessed with sports.
Finding it's like none of these things are actually important to the very base needs and the fundamental needs for the relationship to be successful.
Up to love and belonging. Yeah.
None of that is key to long-term relationships. Mm-hmm. And that's where people need to realize is like, stop putting all these ridiculous standards on your partner. Mm-hmm. Have the base needs of what you need for a successful relationship.
Exactly.
That's where you stop. Everything else is just icing on the cake.
Yep. And there are a lot of sociologists who agree that the real root problem right now, and from a counseling perspective, you can take any perspective and find out what the root problem is for divorce and for the marriage rate. Like, right, you could pull any kind of theory. But I think a lot of it has to do with our own expectations on our relationships, and that we really do need to lower the standard.
I think it's the Disney effect. I'm just going to coin it as like the Disney effect, because I think Disney has sold this. Disney sells like a dream, right? It's like, this is what we all grew up on in the 90s watching these shows. It's always a happy ending. Like, you always get what you want. You know what? If you go rewatch the Disney movies, like, as an adult, do you realize like there's multiple people in the storyline? It's just like this one person who wins. It is literally like one person. Like I'll take Beauty and the Beast. First of all, that's like a horrible example. Like, this dude kidnaps a girl and then basically has like Stockholm syndrome and makes the girl fall in love with him. It's like when you rewatch it, you're like, that doesn't make any sense, but we romanticize that idea. But there's like tons of townspeople. There's normal people inside. They're living their lives. Not everyone is like, everyone thinks they're the Disney princess. Everyone thinks that they're like the
Prince Charming.
They're Prince Charming inside. They think they're the hero of the story. It's like, no, you're just fucking Joe. Like, you're just a normal person. Stop trying to be like this esoteric, just out there, just like unimaginable person. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. And I think like that is probably one of the things where I tell people, and it's like, you need to learn to live a humble life, because a lot of people on Instagram preaching this life of excess. You have to have this, got to be a lifestyle, or you have to have all these things to be happy.
Dude,
It's
I feel like that is more prevalent and contributing to this problem more than the Disney effect. I think it's a social media effect as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like
everyone's chasing after this ideal rather than the real.
Yeah, and that's what so one thing we talk about in the value-driven dating series is the attitude of gratitude, right? And this is where I'll like kind of round it out. The whole discussion is that the attitude of gratitude is that if you are grateful for what you have, you're not going to be trying to search for something else somewhere else. As long as you're grateful for what you have and you have this attitude of gratitude, and you can find the positive things that you have in a relationship versus the things that you do not have in life. If you constantly are focused on the things that you do not have, guess what you're going to do? You're going to be constantly seeking it, and you're constantly going to be looking out for it, which is like your choice. But I'm going to let you right now know, like, all those Instagram, Tinder, all those social media platforms are built and hardwired off of your human psychology to want you to keep wanting more and more and more. It's the culture of excess. It's this culture of immediate gratification. Like, it is literally built and hardwired to use you, and use you as the algorithm is programmed to use you. So it's like, you could keep falling into that same pattern and being like, why am I not finding someone? No one's good. It's like, or, you know what, take a different step away from your phone, step away from all that, and look at reality as it is, not as what you want it to be. But, you know, I don't know if you had any more notes.
Oh, no, I think we had a good discussion about it. And I just hope that people, if you're watching this, that you really do take into consideration the changes of how we view relationships, and that it's not as unique to your own personal beliefs. It is truly a collective conscious decision that we have made through time to now be focused less on the first 3 rungs and more on the top 2, and to really, really reflect on the fact that we don't need those top 2 to be met by a partner, and that it's our own responsibility.
100%.
And that if you understand that and you truly let that sink in and believe it, I guarantee you can find not only a relationship, but one that will last.
Yes, 100%.
So
as always, if you're ready for real relationships
and real connection,
then let's get started. It's slogan.
That was